Hi everybody, so if you're struggling to understand this phylogenetic tree of these animals, I thought I'd just give you a few hints here or just kind of help you understand it. This is exactly like what we did with the shoes, or what I demonstrated with you with the different vehicles. But it takes a little while to get used to looking at these. So if we look at the questions here, the first thing that they're asking, or we asked, is why do scientists create phylogenetic trees in the first place? And the reason we create phylogenetic trees is to look for similarities between species and help understand how things are related to each other. It's all about understanding the relationships between things. It's not actually that much different than if you think of like a family tree. A family tree tells you who you're related to within your family. A phylogenetic tree tells us how different animals are related. And we do that by looking at shared characteristics or characteristics that make things different. So we can read a phylogenetic tree to learn about these relationships. So question number 2 says, which animal alive today is most closely related to the Saurischian or T-Rex dinosaurs? Now, if you look closely on here, you can read some of these names, so you don't need to know what a Saurischian is. It's written right there, right? Now, which of these animals are choices? So it could be this one, right? It could, because lizards are alive today, crocodilians are alive today, and birds are alive today. The dinosaurs are not, right? So the dinosaurs are out, right? So X those. Now, which one is most closely related to the Saurischians? So I'm looking for this line right here, and I see that this line is shared with birds. So they share all of this in common, and this all the way back to here. So that means birds and Saurischians are the most closely related on this diagram. So if I erase all that, and we look at the next question, it says, which animal is most different on the diagram? So like most different from the other things. Now, you might at first kind of look at them and be like, well, you know, the two on top are on four legs, and you might try to, by looking at just at the pictures, but that's actually not what I want you to do. I want you to look at the connections, right? So everything on this line, that includes crocodiles, the ornithischians, the Saurischians, and the birds, they all share this in common, whatever that trait is, right? And that's why it says this is the common ancestor of all of these things, which makes this trait back here the trait that they all share in common, and lizards are the most different, because they were the first one to branch off. And that's how I can tell. And all of these others are a little bit more closely related. And then the final question is asking, is the ornithischian more closely related to birds or crocodiles? Why? So what I'm interested in is I'm interested in this guy right here, the ornithischian. And I'm wondering whether it's more closely related to crocodiles or to birds. And again, I can't tell just by looking at the animals. That's not going to help me. So I start by figuring out where the most recent common ancestor is. So if I draw the line back here, I see that birds and ornithischians share a common ancestor here. But if I'm trying to find the common ancestor of the crocodiles, I have to go back past the common ancestor here to a common ancestor here. So while ornithischians and crocodilians are related, they're much more closely related or recently related, because you can think of this as sort of being time. Okay, and this division is more recent. All right, so there you go. That's how you tell the relationships between things, by reading a phylogenetic tree. I hope this helped.